Hi, I'm Tim O'Neill. I'm the founder of Record Ready Media. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my studio, how it got started, what the genesis of all this really was. So in 2010, I wrote a show that was actually financed by a patron, and I had a small existing studio. It was a starter studio, uh, but it was a hardy little thing, and it was a real joy to actually have something like the studio. So when my patron came along and he decided to invest in my studio and into my work, he gave it a huge upgrade, and we went from being what we used to call the shoebox studio to the bread box, which eventually evolved into the brand I Want Piano, which now has evolved into Record Ready Media. So we used to be a sound studio and sound only, which was a lot of fun for years. And recently I decided that I wanted to expand the studio and I wanted to expand the capabilities. So one of the things that we did is we added cinematic cameras. I thought it was really important to the brand to be able to produce sort of behind the scenes of what happens with making shows or producing music. And so I wanted to have really a good representation of that. And that's where the whole idea of bringing in cinematic cameras came into play. So once I had that in the studio, I started thinking to myself, well, this is great that I was able to create this and to learn how it all worked and to learn how the editing aspect of video production worked. And I thought to myself, I see a lot of people out there who are producing podcasts, and it's a real struggle for them, right? So they don't understand how the cameras work. They don't understand how the editing works. They don't understand how audio works. They don't understand how to edit audio. They don't understand how to upload podcasts. They have no idea how to use AI to actually enhance everything that they've been working on. And I thought to myself, if I could offer that service to contractors, attorneys, doctors, lawyers, you name it, right? I mean, it's going to be an interesting business to launch, and again, a lot of things that you see coming off of YouTube, it's amateur hour. And of course, that's part of YouTube, right? That's part of the enjoyment of watching YouTube. It's not necessarily the most produced video that's out there, So having an operation like what I have now, which involves drones, cameras, mics, all of that stuff, what we call a run and gun studio, I'm able to help out people who are in the construction industry, again, medical, you name it. But I'm able to help them by taking the hassle of video and audio out of their hands and producing something that's going to look sharp, sound sharp, be on point, let them go ahead and express their expertise without having to worry about this huge learning curve. Because let's be honest, video and audio, it's a huge learning curve. It's its own industry. And a lot of folks, they give it a shot, they give it a try, and they find out that it's a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and most of all, a lot of money. So that's where Record Ready sort of came into play. I said, if I could build a brand, if I could build something that I can help others out with, then I'm going to really create an interesting market for local people who don't want to spend a lot of money, but who also want to look good. And so that's sort of the genesis of everything that I've put together here. So as we continue to grow and as we continue to scale, my hope is to continue to offer great content that will help businesses scale, that will help them grow, and be a partner with them in growing their business model and generating more leads and generating more income. And that's really the whole idea behind any type of video or audio. That's what everybody would like to do. Not everybody's cut out to be a YouTube star, and I'm not even suggesting that. But what I am saying is that there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm average Joe. This is my business. This is my expertise. Giving a little bit of advice and basically putting your calling card out there uh, so that you can draw business back to to what you do. I'm not a professional speaker. You can tell by the way that I'm handling this video. You know, it's relatively a new sense for me as well. But the idea is that you can go out there and you can do it. You can generate revenue from it, from YouTube, from monetizing videos. But really, the ultimate goal, I do believe, is to be able to draw people to your brand so that they can see that you're relatable and that you are out there helping them answer questions maybe that they already have. And let me give you, for example, for a long time, I'm going to give a shout out to uh, Halet RV, which doesn't exist anymore. It is actually now Bish's RV down in Coldwater. For the longest time, I watched Josh the RV Nerd. I mean, every time I had a moment, I wanted an RV. And this guy was the go-to guy, right? So he would go through and tell you about what was the build was like for the RV, how much weight it could hold, the floor plan, what some of the high points were, what some of the drawbacks were. And he really, over the course of literally a couple of years of following this guy, right? After a couple of years of following him, I made a decision on the type of recreational trailer that I wanted. And I wanted a trailer. I wanted something that I could unhook from my pickup truck so that if I would want to go places, while I was camping or while I was on vacation or while I was out on holiday doing whatever, that I could have basically a home away from home and exactly the way that I wanted. I wanted my RV, my trailer, because that's what I have. I have a travel trailer, but I wanted it to have that sort of diner feel, so that when you put the slide out, that you could sit in the slide out and look out at whatever scenery you wanted to look at, whatever you pulled up to, right? And that's exactly what I did. So I took a month and I went out to Wyoming, and I did that with my family. And we parked in some of the most beautiful places. We'd wake up in the morning, we'd pull up in the shades or the blinds, and we'd have just the most stunning view. Absolutely gorgeous. And, it was because of Josh. Josh actually got my sale. I actually got the opportunity to, when I went down to Bishop's, actually, I'm going to roll it back a bit because I picked my trailer up from Bishop's, but I met him out at the Marvac RV show. He was running around and I was like, oh my gosh, it's you, it's Josh. Josh, oh my gosh, I've been watching you forever. This is awesome. And I was actually able to purchase my trailer from Josh. Crazy story. A month later, we ended up going down to Universal Studios in Florida, and we ended up taking the trailer, and we were at their water park at Universal Studios, and the name of it absolutely escapes me now, right? But who should happen to be there but Josh with his family? It was crazy. But, if that guy would not have taken time to make his podcast, to go out there and show all of his inventory and show how it works and what the upsides were and what the drawbacks were, I would have never purchased from him. But I did. Now, is his videos out there monetized, making him a fortune? Does he walk around with a little crown on it and say, I'm the king of RVs? No, of course not. No. But how many people have watched his videos? How many people have decided, what the heck? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy an RV from this guy. And I did. And the best part, here's the best part of the whole story. When I bought the RV, he was able to beat General RV, all the competitors. I was able to get the Cadillac version of my RV, with the solar panel, the boondocking hookup, the extra batteries, you name it, this thing was just hooked up. and I was able to get it for $4,000 less than his closest competitors. Thanks, Josh. You saved me a lot of money, and you taught me everything about your product. And man, it's because of you that now on the weekends when I have extra time, if we have a free moment, my family and I, we get to go out and we get to enjoy the wilderness. We've been everywhere with that trailer, and I mean everywhere. Wyoming, South Dakota, Florida, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Wyoming, just all over the place. Yeah. And it was because some guy took the time to show his product, and voila, there it was. It was a win-win situation. So this is my first podcast. It's going to go up on my website, and hopefully it will draw some attention to what I'm doing. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call or come to my website at recordreadymedia.com, or pick up the phone and give me a call at 313-740-8601. If you pick up the phone and call me, I will answer. Okay? So don't even hesitate. Grab that phone and say, hey, Tim, I'm interested to know a little bit more about video recording, audio recording, podcasting, video podcasting, or vlogging, whatever. I'm more than happy to talk to you about it. And I'm more than happy to help you out with whatever venture you want to start with. So with that being said, have a good one. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.